Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Onesimus and you're on Onesimus, a fashionable nurse. In this video, I want us to look at LGBT in full. This acronym has been moving all over social media. People have defined it in different ways. Many people understand it in many ways, and it is new to most of us. Most of the people of my age. People of my age, this acronym is very new to our ears. But this video is going to give us a full description about the concepts in this acronym. But before we break it down, I want us to look at these four different traits because they are connected to it. Traits are like characteristics which every person is supposed to present with. Any person, whether you are binary or non-binary. Binary are people who fall in the category of being male or female. And non-binary are the people who fall in the category of not being male or female. They are also there. So, number one trait is biological sex. That is number one. Number two trait is gender identity. Number three trait is gender expression. And number four trait, which is the last trait, is sexual orientation. Let's have a brief description about these traits. Number one, we looked at biological sex. Biological sex is a physical anatomy that someone is born with. This is determined by sexual organs, chromosomes, and hormones. And this helps us to identify someone as a male or female. For example, you can know that someone is a male by looking at their sexual organs. You can identify someone as a male if he has penis, he has XY chromosomes, or he has testosterone. Or you can look at someone as a female if he has a vagina. Katugorooza nswaziza naye nno kyogerako. Yes, I have talked about it. If she has a vagina, uterus for reproduction, X chromosome, progesterone hormone, and estrogen hormone. But apart from that, there are some people who have ambiguous sex. Their sex is not clear to what is traditionally known. For example, there are people who are born with both sexual organs, female sexual organs and male sexual organs, or have the combination of both chromosomes, XY and XX chromosomes. So these people, their sex is not very clear. Example, we have intersex people. These people, they used to call them Aphrodite, but the word is now outdated. Right now, they are called intersex people. They can have both sexual organs. They can have combination of all chromosomes, both XY and XX chromosomes. Then we look at another trait which we called gender identity. Before we look at this trait, I want us to understand that there is a difference between sex and gender. Sex is determined by sexual organs that someone has. Male or female, male should be having testes, penis, female should be having vagina, uterus, and etc. But gender is determined by roles, norms, and responsibilities that someone carries. For example, Someone can be a male by birth, but like the work he does always, the responsibilities that he's carrying and the roles he performs render him to be a female. That is gender. So, by gender, that person is a female, but by sex, that person is a male. Are we together? Are we knowing the difference between sex and gender? Okay, let's continue with our trait. So, this trait called gender identity, this is about one's own gender between being a male and female. Someone can feel like he's a female, or someone can feel like he's a male, depending. That's what they call gender identity. What you are feeling, which gender you are feeling for yourself. That's what they call gender identity. Now, in this trait, that's why you find people identifying themselves as cisgender, people identifying themselves as transgenders, others identifying themselves as uh, gender neutral, others by gender, and very many others. There are very many gender identities. But to explain a few that I've listed here. Number one, cisgender. Cisgender is a term to define a person whose gender identity is the same with the gender identity that was assigned to them at birth. Yes, if you were assigned at birth that you are a male and you feel your feelings about your gender are telling you like you are a male, for you are called a cisgender because your gender identity is the same with what you were given at birth, which is different from transgender. Transgender is different from cisgender. This means transgender means uh, people whose gender identity is different from what was assigned to them at birth. Like, you find someone was assigned to be a male, but for them they feel like they are females. And according to research, it shows that this feeling starts as early as at the age of 3 to 4 years. At the age of 3 to 4 years, already the kid is starting to feel their sex, their gender. So these transgenders, they always face challenges. They have a problem called gender dysphoria. They don't always feel comfortable with the gender that was assigned to them at birth. And that's why some of them they go ahead to use hormonal therapies and plastic surgeries so that they can assume the morphology of the gender they feel that they are. For example, a trans female, that is a man who feels like he's a woman. So such kind of a person you find they go for put breasts, they go for hormonal therapy so that they can develop those habits of the women. If he's a female, a trans man, they still they get hormonal therapies, they go under plastic surgeries so that they can assume that morphology of being men or women. But there are some other people who live a transgender life without going for extensive procedures, but they feel like they're trans people. Then if we are talk about gender neutral people, this is a term to define people who don't have any gender. They don't feel like they are males and they don't feel like they are females. They are just there. And you cannot call him he. Hey, you cannot call them he or she. They always like to be called they are, something like that. Those are pronouns they like to be called. For me, I'm a cisgender. I don't know you. You better tell us the truth. Now, let's look at another trait which is called gender expression. Gender expression is how someone chooses to show their gender identity to the outside the world. And this is done on a daily basis by everyone. Only that it is done unknowingly. This one we do it every day according to the way we dress, and according to the way we style our hair, according to the way we walk, according to the way we stand, according to the way we talk. Some people have changed it into like a comedy way. Some people perform like ladies, some men perform like ladies, and some women perform like men. And this one they have their term. Like a man who performs like a lady is called a drag queen, and a woman who performs like a man, they are called drag kings. So we always see them on social media. Okay, let's now look at our last trait, which is sexual orientation. Sexual orientation is the gender or sex someone is attracted to. For example, for you, the sex that you love, that is your sexual orientation. Eh? You say you love your boyfriend, or you say you love your girlfriend, or your husband, or your wife. That is your sexual orientation. In short, sexual orientation is the sex that and gender that someone is attracted to, sexually and romantically. And in this trait, that's where we find people who identify themselves as heterosexuals, homosexuals, bisexuals, asexuals, and etc. There are very many sexual orientations, but I will talk briefly about the few I have mentioned here. Number one are heterosexuals. Heterosexuals are the people who feel romantic and sexual attraction to the people of the opposite sex. For example, a male to a female or a female to a male, which is opposite to homosexuals. Homosexuals are people who feel sexual and romantic attraction to the people of the same sex. This is why we find gays and lesbians. Another term is asexuals. Asexuals are the people who don't feel any romantic or sexual attraction to any sex. They don't feel any attraction, sexual attraction and sexual orientation for any sex. And this one is different from abstinence. People who have feelings but they just decide to abstain from any sexual activities. If you abstain but you have sexual feelings, that is called celibacy. It is called celibacy. It is not called asexuality. It is called celibacy. You have sexual feelings and you can do sexual activities very well, but you decide to abstain. That is called celibacy. But these asexuals, for them, they don't have any feelings in them for any sex. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you have picked something. Please, if you find it important, try to share it to your friend, and we shall link up in our next video where we shall now break our acronym fully. I wanted us to first understand these traits which are associated with it. Then now when we are breaking it, it will be easier to understand. Thank you.